Well, welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Go ahead and state your name and what office you're seeking here for the record with us.
I am Jackson Franklin. I'm running for Congressional District 5 in Indiana, running against Republican incumbent Victoria Spartz, and I am excited to finally replace that person. She's been misrepresenting us for the last 6 years, and she's got to go.
So it sounds like the ineffectual leadership of the incumbent is part of the reason that you're running. But generally speaking, what is your inspiration for running for office in general and this office in particular?
Right. So there's not one individual thing that set me off on this big endeavor. There's a lot of different life experiences. And, I've talked about this before, but I'm a paramedic. I've worked on the ambulance and I've taken people from the hospital back to their homes to die because they didn't have any health insurance. They would rather do that than put their family in medical bankruptcy. And so talk about a radicalizing experience to set you off against the establishment. It's seeing that happen. And also, I've been feeling the burn since 10 years ago when Bernie Sanders won this state and all 6 counties of the 5th district. So I've been on a warpath ever since, like volunteering, like knocking doors, phone calls for progressive candidates all around. And yeah, just trying to give a voice to working class people and fight back against the Epstein class is what I call them now. So yeah, inspiration, basically people in the political space, my military friends, my family, they were like, no one else is going to do it. We kept on seeing bad Democrats, like right-wing corporate conservative Democrats lose. It's because we're not going to win against the Republicans by throwing up diet Republicans. We're going to win as Democrats when we fight like Democrats are supposed to and fight for working class values. That's when we turn this state blue. So that's a large and a very short answer. That's why I'm running, to give a voice to working class people and to actually win.
So one thing I like to debunk is that our politicians are like above, that they're some sort of superhero class. We sort of develop these cult of personalities around folks. These next couple questions, I think, are intended to show that you're a real person.
Yeah.
So what is something that has been a struggle in your life?
Something that's been a struggle. I guess I have ADHD. So like at paramedic school, like I just have to work harder to get to the same outcome. But like I work harder. That's just what you got to do. So like whether it was EMT school, college, paramedic school, and like just study. My fixation, I would say, is politics. It's all day, every day, every minute of the day is like I'm either reading or listening to something or doing something political. So yeah, that's something I've had to deal with. I guess if I had to pick any struggle, just in my personal life, which is
yeah.
So yeah, and there's millions of people that are affected by that, But also when we have a for-profit, I'm looping it back around, for-profit like medications, like big pharma, just crazy, makes our medication super expensive. So a lot of people aren't, they can't get the medication they need. So that's what we're trying to fight.
You just described me back to me.
Yeah, seriously, solidarity.
So, if you, and you know what, I'm gonna sort of ask this in 2 ways. If you were a fictional character, who would it be? Or if you could be a fictional character, who would it be? And you can answer those both if you like.
That is a really hard question. I am a huge like sci-fi nerd.
Yeah.
Huge Halo nerd, but like I would want to pick somebody that is like changing the world or something, like a fighter. So, who would it? That's a really good. That's the hardest question you've ever asked me. Let's see. I don't know. I'm gonna pick a popular answer, I guess. Aragorn, fighting in Lord of the Rings. The king that was promised. All right, he's fighting the forces of darkness, and he's leading his people to a golden age. And he's just one of that like chivalrous kind of like knightly figure. The positive masculinity that is too many young MAGA men are lacking. They need to look towards Aragorn for guidance.
Very good, very good. So, moving into the political realm a little bit more, what do you see? Let's say you get in office. What do you sort of view as the role of interpersonal relationships with your congressional colleagues? Is it beneficial to be pals, go to the same cocktail parties? Is it when you clock out, you leave them aside. Just how do you view those relationships in general?
I mean, yeah, that's the politics within politics. When it's like, oh, it's all political and it's all like who and all that. That is the name of the game to some extent. So it's always being cordial when you can. There are some people, like I do a lot of testimony at the state house for bills, and there are some people like I'm not going to be cordial with. Like they are actual walking demons that are like destroying the planet. There are many people like that you can, like, even though it's an awkward alliance, current example in Congress is Congressman Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey. Do they agree on everything? No. They a Democrat, like a progressive Democrat, leftist, and a kind of like center-right Republican, right? So, but hey, they made that cordial alliance, and now they're doing like the best work that you can imagine, like releasing the Epstein files, tackling Congress people being allowed to trade stocks. They're still trying to work on that. So, and many other issues, So, yes, you need to be cordial. That's the politics behind politics, and I'm very friendly. I'll be your friend once until you lose it. Even if we disagree with politics, I'm not going to go out screaming your name in a bloodbath, cursing at you. You have to earn that. But you basically have my respect until you lose it. If you vote to, fund genocide overseas, or you vote to take away 18 million people's health care, I'm not going to, murdering them, I'm not going to be like your best buddy. Yeah. In fact, expect the opposite. Like me and Victoria Sparks, every time I've talked to her, at her town hall, I yelled at her. But in person, I was like, hey, why'd you vote no on the PACT Act? That was veterans health care. What's up with you? I wasn't like screaming at her, but it was like a question, maybe a sharp one. But so, yeah, you got to know when those relationships can occur and when not.
And furthermore, it's about policy. It's not personal.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's everything about what we do is policy oriented, even in the Democratic primaries and whatnot. If I say I want Medicare for all and someone says, actually, I don't think healthcare is a human right, and I say, oh, yes, it is. I'm not going after them because I don't like their beard or their hair. That's different. That's way different, right? It's like, hey, no, I think healthcare is a human right,
Very good. So whether it be in politics or in your personal life or just in general, what do you want your legacy to be?
I would say I strive for my legacy to be that of fighting for the working class. It's giving a voice to working class people and just let there be hope for us to actually affect change in our Congress and all the like legislative bodies throughout the country and the state. And just know that there are people fighting for you. It's the hard part is not so much like, hey, you can throw your name on a ballot, but can you organize people? It's really easy. Like people are mobilized. Like you can show up to a No Kings protest once and never again, and you just tune out. But can you keep them routinely going to meetings and continually calling their legislators and affecting that kind of change that we want to see? Letting people know that a brighter future is possible if you dare to fight for it. If you dare to, as Fred Hampton once said, if you dare to struggle, you dare to win. If you don't dare to struggle, then damn it, you don't deserve to win. We dare to struggle. We're daring every single day to fight the fight that is right before us. It may seem like you're looking up at a mountain, but a journey up a mountain begins with a single step. The civil rights leaders in the 50s and long before that, they were like, oh my gosh, how are we ever going to desegregate this nation? But after 20 years, they finally did because they just didn't give up that dream. They continually fought for it. So that's what I would hope my legacy is. Once I'm Bernie Sanders' age and I'm, maybe still fighting this fight, that's what I would hope to look back on. And like, hey, we fought, we gave it our all, we tried to organize people, and we're trying to fight for a brighter future. So that's what I.
Very good. Well, if people like what they hear, they want to get involved with your campaign, perhaps with their time volunteering, with their talent, or their treasure. If they want to donate, where can they do that?
Well, you can donate your time, talent, and treasure if you go to jacksonfranklinforcongress.com, where you can donate to this grassroots campaign. You can sign up to volunteer. We even have a calendar to see all of our events upcoming. If you can't go to the next one, you can go to the, whenever you're available. And you can also see our huge, extensive policy platform that's ever growing. That's what I take pride in. And, the policy, meat and bones. So you can figure out what this campaign's about. Figure out some of my bio, what the district even is, which I probably say, like, it's the 6 counties generally northeast of Indianapolis: Hamilton, Madison, Delaware, Howard, Tipton, and Grant. So if you're in those counties, you can vote for us. But even if you're outside those counties and you're an American citizen, you can donate. You can volunteer if you're good. You know how to help, use your skills, how it's applicable to the campaign. And we know all the help we can get. So please go to jacksonfranklinforcongress.com to help this grassroots movement. Every little bit helps us flip this district this November.
All right. I always say there's a role for everybody in the resistance. All right. Jackson Franklin, thank you very much for joining us here today. Appreciate it.
I know.